It's Bob and Tom Tonight, starring Chick McGee, Christy Lee, Josh Arnold, Ace Cosby, Pat Godwin, Willie Griswold, and Tom Griswold.
Costaki Economopoulos, a comedian NFL guy. Costaki, you have to be thrilled. Probably the best weekend of NFL football ever.
Is possible. It was so great. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
4 games down to the wire.
Amazing.
Great teams, great quarterback play.
The first 3 games, no home field advantage.
Oh, yeah. Underdogs won. This weekend brought to you by Rocky Balboa. It was fun. It was the best, follow this joke, it was the best performance of lower seeds since Danny DeVito's Kids.
Dude, Mr. DeVito was short, you see. The sperm hovering just above the floor.
Those are low seeds.
Hey, Costaki, but can I interrupt your flow? Which I
Yes.
like to do anyway.
It's tradition.
I'm looking at your picks. You picked Green Bay. That didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
You did pick Cincinnati plus the 3.5. They didn't need them.
Right.
You did pick the Chiefs.
And I picked the Rams.
And you did pick the Rams.
Nicely done.
3 out of 4. This weekend was pretty good.
You and Chick, although you differed on the ones that you missed, but you're both 3 for 4.
3 out of 4 ain't bad. Oh, we never knew.
Oh, wait a minute. No meatloaf jokes, man.
Oh, sorry.
I'll take it. And my other, one of my long-running hobbies is sad Tom Brady. And now I have a new hobby, sad bloody lip Tom Brady. Oh, that was enjoyable.
That was his first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in his career.
Oh, please let it be the last game too. What a perfect ending.
Why don't you like Mr. Brady? The guy's the best of the best.
It's just enough with the winning and the handsomeness and the money and everything going his way. Enough. Go away. Stop already. His diet's so strict he's not allowed to lick his own bloody lip. That's
wow. Serious.
Tom lost a heartbreaker, or as Bill Belichick calls it, a what breaker?
I'm unfamiliar.
Yeah.
What is this heart you're talking?
How does Tom Brady drown his sorrows? Organic avocado tequila, 5 or 6 baked cassava chips. We really go roll out.
I'm loaded.
Tom Brady getting knocked out of the playoffs feels like when the bad guy in a movie appears to be dead. Like you just know somehow he's going to come back to life. Like just stay away from that guy.
Yeah.
And I hate that his blood is out there. I'm afraid they're going to do some Spider-Man thing where they nab a drop of it and build perfect quarterbacks out of it. This guy. Then when the Bucs lost, Antonio Brown trolled the Buccaneers on Twitter.
I saw that.
Weird. It's like he's not a team first kind of guy or something.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
I was shocked.
But now, Costaki, in your opinion, without getting too serious, will someone pick him up next season? Because he is one of the greatest ever.
I just can't believe that they would, but yes, it's totally possible.
See, I compare this to the like these movie stars that get married 8 times.
Right.
You're
yes,
thinking, okay,
parallel.
Who went to wedding number 7 and wasn't a little bit skeptical?
But I mean, think about Odell Beckham's dad posting that video kind of trolling his team, and then he got traded, and now he's catching touchdowns on the way to the Super Bowl.
Yes,
yeah,
but
that's right.
less, not as many events as Antonio Brown, wouldn't you say?
Events.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Events. That's a
Hey,
nice
listen,
way of putting it.
I want to get away from football for just a second because Costaki, I don't know if you saw this. Kind of a sad weekend. Some greats in the world of entertainment died, including a friend of the show, Louis Anderson, great comedian,
Yep,
terrific
big
guy.
fan.
I'm dead.
Thank you, Josh, for taking away the solemnity that I tried to instill into this moment.
He's working on an impression.
He would have wanted it that way.
Yeah, he would have.
This story, I don't know if you saw this, Costaki. Weber Grills had to apologize just by chance, coinciding with the news of the death of the great star Meatloaf. They released a barbecued meatloaf recipe on their weekly recipe of the week email. So I'm just we have to express our deepest apologies for this oversight and for any offense this this may have caused.
Not their fault at all.
No.
No.
Yeah.
But also, if you're at a point in your life where you're getting upset and frustrated because of promotional emails sent to you by a grill company, you got to find joy somewhere.
Yeah, something else is wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, there are people that wake up every day, all they want to do is be offended.
Yeah, of course.
Like the reason they're doing those 2 new M&Ms, I guarantee it, that company got 3 letters from 3 random people that were pissed about something. I can't quite figure out what they were mad about, but whatever. They're changing it for the
This is one of those cases, though, that changing the M&Ms doesn't, fine.
Yeah,
Do whatever
cares?
you want. Yeah.
Well, remember, what was the one? Was it last year they were at the Super Bowl that they were going to kill off the peanut or something?
Mr. Peanut was going to die. In fact, I think they kind of did kill him off, didn't
They had
they?
to bring him back.
Yeah, they brought him back.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
But this leads Costaki to my question: what's the over/under on Manning commercials during the Super Bowl? And by the definition is any one or all of the Mannings would count as one. I say the over/under is 4.
Oh, okay. I was thinking 5 when you asked that.
You think?
Yeah,
So you're going to go over.
Are we including Chelsea Manning in
I'll
this?
take the over.
Hang on a second. Josh, once again, trying to bring the level of taste on this show down to 0. I
For Diet Pepsi, it's Chelsea Manning.
That's in poor taste, much like the meatloaf recipe released by
But that was just
Weber
coincidence.
Grills.
That was coincidence.
That was
I was being in poor taste.
no taste, which is what Meatloaf had the last couple of weeks.
Man.
That was
As
for
a
you,
matter of fact-
Costaki, because I know you've read the paper.
Since he couldn't taste for the last few days, are we sure he didn't kill himself?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, Costaki, I'm sorry. Back to the football report. Costaki Economopoulos is one of my favorite comedians. You'll find him, if I'm not mistaken, coming up this weekend. Am I getting this right, Costaki? Thursday through Saturday at the Skyline Comedy Cafe in Appleton?
Yeah, it's one of the great clubs. And thank the baby Jesus I wasn't there this past week during the primetime Packers game.
No kidding,
Just
man.
been by myself telling the jokes to the waitresses. So,
both
this
both
weekend
games are
coming up.
Sunday.
Yeah, this weekend's a much better weekend. For
Is that because it wouldn't be fair to the teams to have?
That's a good question. It's a long-standing tradition. I'm not sure why they do it that way. I suppose
Would they have more viewers if they did both in prime time?
I have to think so. You'd have to
Potentially.
think the primetime games do even better, right?
Yeah, and then will you be on an airplane during the Super Bowl?
No.
No.
In fact, no. I'll be home here in LA. I'll be home in LA just like the Rams.
Okay, now
Hopefully,
can I
maybe, possibly.
give
Are
a
you
little
going to go?
give a little plug here? Did you know, Costaki? Have they told you this yet? Did you know that Willie is flying out for the Radio Row pre-Super Bowl event? And have we asked Costaki to be there with us?
Yeah, Costaki.
Yeah, I just discussed this with a couple of the characters this week, so I was pleasantly surprised. And
Oh,
excited to
wonderful.
hear
So you're going to
Willie
be
and I are going to be
that.
doing some content from Super Bowl Radio Row.
That's
Pretty cool. Very
Yes,
fun.
Kostaki, I'm going to fly to California where marijuana is legal, and I'm going to work very hard. I can let you know that right now.
You got to get up at 4 a.m. It's going to be a perfect match.
Yeah.
It'll be very fun. It'll be a blast.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, Costaki. You'll have a good time.
I love that kind of stuff. It's really if you're a football fan, that kind of stuff is crazy. I mean, you're like trying to squeeze through the Radio Row and you bump into Dan Marino and you turn around, Steve Young's there. It's super cool. Yeah.
Well, good luck. We'll look forward to your reports from Los Angeles.
By the way, are you seeing my hat? I got the
I did see
championship
that.
Georgia hat.
It's very
And I got
smart.
the
Good.
championship Georgia shirt. I don't know if you heard the
that's
University
nice.
of Georgia. They're the champions.
I love that, man. Celebrate.
Yes.
All right. You know who else is celebrating? The Bengals. The Bengals beat the Titans.
Yeah, man.
People in Cincinnati haven't been this exhilarated since they put chili on spaghetti. It's very exciting. It's the biggest day for Bengals since they ate Roy. This is exciting.
Oh, my God.
It's a Siegfried and Roy joke. They're both dead.
Oh, jeez.
But not from this. It's okay.
Right,
It's okay.
right.
They died from other things later.
have
Then
a
the
guess.
Bengals
You
had
need
to
to
sit
stop
there.
talking.
Then the Bengals had to wait to see who they play. The winner of the Chiefs-Bills game. Cripes! It was like an election. Like no matter who wins, we're screwed. Right?
What's the spread on that now? Is it still 7?
It's 7 when I saw it, yeah. And then 3.5 in the other game.
Okay.
You know, I think it would be fun the day after events like this to have someone watch the various sports reports and see what phrase they use the most. I think the winner would be, and he was sacked 9 times. They were really on that. And, God, that guy's amazing.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, yeah.
He looks good. And he's got the swagger about him. If you're a Bengals fan, you have to be so relieved you've got a good quarterback.
And he's also a leader. That's the great thing about the guy.
Yeah, and he's a child. It's amazing what he's done. It's really cool. And the Bills-Chiefs game was just maybe one of the best games of all time. It was just haymaker after haymaker. It was like a school board meeting. 25 points scored in the final 2 minutes, the most in playoff history. In 2 minutes, they had 3 Jaguars games worth of points. It was
Now, Costaki, where do you weigh in on the controversy with respect to the overtime rules?
Well, for 10 years now, I've been saying the overtime rules suck. And it was particularly notable in the Super Bowl when the best offense in the league, in this case, the Atlanta Falcons, didn't touch the ball in the overtime of the championship game of the league. It's ridiculous.
Well, maybe their defense should have been better.
That's right, Chick. Thanks for stepping in.
Okay, now,
Chick in this scenario.
I've been a big fan of changing that rule. I quote the Wall Street Journal. 10 of the last 11 playoff games that went into overtime were won by the team that won the toss.
Is that right?
10 of 11.
That's great. So the response to you, Chick, is that year the Falcons made it to the playoffs and were crushing everyone and into the Super Bowl on the best offense in the league. They had like the 20th best defense. They didn't get there on defense. That's not how they got there.
Right.
And in a game like the Bills-Chiefs, you can just feel it. These quarterbacks are just hitting on all cylinders. Whoever touches this ball first is going to win the game.
And also, you've never seen the team that won the coin toss going, oh, no, let them have the ball.
No, yeah, that's right.
That's never happened. That tells you something.
Right, but you can also point to other things in the games that could have.
They shouldn't have gotten there in the first place. They should have
but
won in
still,
regulation.
It's a billion dollar.
that's
It's
always
a billion
true,
dollar industry. They should figure out a way to make it a little bit more fair.
Well, look, the NFL did the same thing with the 2-point conversion. For several years, the college football had the 2-point conversion, and the NFL was stodgy like Chick. Like, no, we're old-fashioned. We don't do it that way. And finally, they embraced it because it's better. Do the same thing with college football overtime. College football overtime is one of the great things in all of sports. Just steal it and use it. It's there. It's waiting for it.
Well,
it's
Costaki Economopoulos is our guest. He's our NFL guy. He'll be in Los Angeles. He lives there, but he'll be getting in his car and driving to meet Willie. Costaki, I assume you're driving. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I'll be driving.
I hope you still charge the show for travel.
I'm sorry. Back to you, Costaki. What else is happening?
Fly from John Wayne to LAX.
Niners beat the Packers. It was, as the French call it, le tragédie de fromage. Rodgers is now 0-4 against San Francisco in the postseason. That guy needs to get immunized against the Niners. You know,
questionable.
Just what Rodgers feared. He got canceled by a bunch of California elites. When it comes to playoff bonus checks, it looks like the Packers players get the Rodgers rate. It was a block punt, right? The Packers special teams allowed more penetration than a blind chaperone.
You kids are behaving, right?
I smell something.
The Niners offense did not win this game. At one point, Jimmy G was audibling really loudly. He was screaming the word Oscar. And I was like, is this because the game plan belongs in the garbage can? It's not going well for either offense. And somehow the Niners won. I mean, good for them. It was so cold in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers said something else about vaccines just to get some heat. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
On the sideline, players were warming their hands by rubbing a well digger's ass. It was cold out there. There's like 10 of these to close it out. You ready?
We're ready.
It was cold in Green Bay. Jimmy G didn't mind the warmth of a sack. It's like, oh, it's nice. Ooh, somebody hug me. McAfee was so cold watching, he put on a shirt with sleeves.
That tank top on.
You could get a concussion from a Gatorade bath. It was cold. At halftime, Aaron Rodgers was reading Atlas Shivered. It was very cold.
Is that an Ayn Rand joke?
It is, yes.
Wow.
That is obscure.
You're asking a lot of the audience.
In one of the interviews, he had it on his bookshelf and he talked about it for.
Oh, I got you. That's right.
Yeah. It was cold. John Gruden and Roger Goodell were hugging. It was really cold.
They don't like each other.
No, I hope Urban Meyer wasn't there. Can you imagine what kind of hell could break loose if he couldn't feel his fingers? Right? That could be crazy.
Little hands.
He's a gas grabber, Christy.
I know.
The man likes to touch.
Likes the strange
Rex
ladies.
Ryan didn't go to this game. I mean, what's the point if you can't feel your toes or anyone else's? I mean, why would you? It was cold up there. Antonio Brown put his shirt on.
Oh, boy, that is cold. Cold.
Yeah, and then he cuddled with all of his personalities. So that's a lot of people.
Cuckoo, that man.
All right.
We need to wrap it up, Costaki.
That's probably enough. We're
Okay,
good.
that was good stuff.
Good job.
We have
Very
reached the ending.
nice. What a weekend.
It's time for some serious comedy.
Oh, okay.
With Ace Cosby.
Who's that sexy man with a deep voice? Ace Cosby, here he is with his joke of the day.
My dentist, he's award-winning.
Really? Yeah.
It's nothing gaudy or anything, but when you walk in, it's just a little plaque.
Ace Cosby's joke of the day.
Little plaque.
Black has a couple of meanings. And
Words are fun.
you certainly are, Pat. Thank you very much. Christy Lee at the news desk. What have we missed?
A cruise ship has changed course and sailed to the Bahamas after a U.S. judge granted an order to seize the vessel. The Crystal Symphony was scheduled to arrive in Miami over the weekend, but a federal judge issued a warrant for the ship as part of a lawsuit over $4.6 million in unpaid fuel. Cruise trackers show Crystal Symphony currently docked in the Bahamian island of Bimini. Passengers were surprised to learn of the court case, with one guest posting a letter from Crystal Cruises management that said the change in itinerary was due to non-technical operational issues.
That sounds like double think.
Yeah. Passenger Stephen Hurd Foles.
Of course I've heard foals. They're baby deer, aren't they?
Posted about the incident on Facebook saying, quote, "We all feel we were abducted by luxurious pirates." By the way, the ship's passengers were later ferried to Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale from Bimini.
Everglades.
Enjoy the all we have left to eat buffet. Hey, you want to go see that comedian again tonight? He's got that same show. Wow.
Patty, what are you doing with your guitar?
I have a little cruise ship song. Would you like to hear it?
Of course.
Sure.
Here we go. See all the tourists in Cabo buying those big sombreros, filling up on salty margaritas. Cruise ship people sure love fajitas. They eat the tacos, tamales, and taquitos. Ships with salsa and burritos. They have nachos, ceviche, and too much alcohol. What do they do before their next port of call? They gotta take a ship, a big old ship. After the beans and guacamole dip, they take a huge ship after tortilla chips. Then they drop a dose on the boat. Plop, plop, plop. There you go.
Ship. These words are funny. I have a question.
Yes.
What did you just say about the guy's name was Foles?
Yeah.
And you said what, Josh?
Aren't they baby deer? Something like that?
Isn't a foal a baby horse?
Yes.
I think I said falls, but that's okay.
No,
There
my
was a
concern is
lot
not
wrong
what you
with
said.
that. Mistakes were
I
made.
don't
We
think
can
a
move
foal
on.
is a goat.
No, a
He
foal is
said
a
a
horse.
deer.
Yeah.
A
I
deer,
said
whatever.
yeah.
I think you got
A
the four-leg
fawn.
part right. They're
Yeah, I was
mammals.
wrong. Yeah.
Okay. You had me like, what?
I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong
No,
again.
I'm not trying to underscore the fact that you were wrong. I'm confused. Am I wrong?
No, you were right.
Okay, well, so this
Don't
ship
correct
is...
the comedy, Tom.
Sorry.
California Highway Patrol officers recently conducted a marijuana bust on Stoner Drive in Bakersfield. KMPH reports officers stopped a sedan, discovered the passenger seat covered in snacks and trash. Though officers noted the strong odor of marijuana, so they did a search, and then that revealed hundreds of pounds of processed pot. What's the difference between pot and processed pot, Willie?
Processed means it's already been cut and trimmed into buds, I believe.
According to the station, the car was towed. Driver was arrested.
Why? I mean, wouldn't you, if you were transporting a bunch of, I guess, black market marijuana, wouldn't you not be smoking it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you're trying to deal with logic and people who are dealing drugs, Tom.
Yes,
Sometimes that doesn't go in.
And the name of the street was?
Stoner Drive.
In the city, Bakersfield.
Bakersfield.
How often is that sign stolen?
Oh,
Weekly?
Yeah, can you imagine? I'm Officer Bong. Pull over.
Officer Bond.
I heard the jail was located on Sodomy Street. So you really do not
On
want to.
Sodomy Street. Can't you tell me how to get away from Sodomy Street? Sodomy Street.
Still has Big Bird, but now he's kind of hot. What is that?
Hey, bird.
If only he'd been driving down Sober Parkway.
Get Oscar in the can.
He would have been fine.
Oscar likes it in the can.
He likes on Sodomy Street.
Elho.
Those street signs have to be welded.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think they'd be stolen constantly.
In Colorado, wasn't there mile marker 420 and it got stolen so often they had to make it mile marker 419.99?
Yeah,
Which, by the way, that's a much funnier sign to
That's a
steal.
better sign.
419.99 is great in a stoner's living room.
I'm sure they're.
Yes.
Hey, print 12 of them, Dave. So I'll just leave them in the truck.
We have an update on the story from yesterday. Remember the Irishman who propped up his dead uncle to collect his pension at the post office?
Yes.
Well, now he's sharing his side of the story. Declan Hawney has been accused of dragging his uncle's body to a post office in Carlow, propping him up in an effort to collect the 66-year-old's pension. Declan told the Irish Mirror that the accusations being made against him are due to his checkered past. The 40-year-old said, yes, he believes his uncle may have died sometime during the short walk to the post office.
What's an Irish mirror, Pat?
What are you looking at? You want to find your son? Don't look at me like that.
Somebody told me you slept with my wife.
What are you giving me the fisheye for, huh? So this guy...
Declan claims, this gets better. Declan claims his uncle was walking normally but started dragging his heels as they were walking to the post office. He said he and his friend thought nothing of it, quote unquote, due to his uncle's poor health, and they linked arms to drag his uncle the rest of the way.
So they're saying he died in transit.
Yes.
Or maybe then they didn't know it.
It was not until they got in the post office they realized his uncle was dead.
He had tried to go collect the check.
Right.
And they said, no, he's got to be here in person. So they show up. Then they just drop the body and leave.
That's the part. Yeah, if he died on the way over, you're not going to leave him there.
Yeah,
you're going to be careful.
This guy's just a jerk.
He said, quote, why would I want to rob my uncle? I'm 40 years of age. Yeah, I'm not a child. I'm not a young fella. I'm not an, what's an EEJIT?
Idiot.
It's
Irish.
Yeah.
Egypt.
To walk into Hosie's with a dead man and collect his money. Am I cuckoo? Am I cuckoo? I am not.
Cuckoo.
I believe this guy.
Do you?
Yes.
Declan, who was
Dead
given a
people die all
statement
the
to
time.
police, said he's my uncle, the man who reared me. I'm shell-shocked. My heart is torn in two.
Oh. Not a big deal. I think the
You
man
would know if someone died while you were walking into the post office.
And you wouldn't just let him drop to the floor of the post office and then leave.
Maybe they went, hey, we'll keep it here and we'll go to the cops. We don't know.
Story of suspect.
You are such a nice person.
Some might call me dumb.
Trusting.
We're going to go drink until the leprechauns tell us what to do. Then we'll come back, and I don't believe this guy.
Now back to the offices of the Irish Mirror.
You know what? You look at me like that one more time.
Again. Oh my gosh.
Watch the entire show live or on demand at bobandtom.com or listen live with the Bob and Tom app. And be sure to tune in next time for more Bob and Tom Tonight.